Hey gang, and welcome. He, of course, is Dave Pensado, our guest, the gifted Jean-Marie Horvat. But first, a couple of things, including a new ITL. DP, who's the final winner of the Total Studio Sweepstakes?
The final winner is Lewis Adams.
Congratulations, Lewis.
Congratulations,
Total Studio
Lewis.
Max 2 is headed your way quickly. A lot of international winners in this contest. Thanks to Enrico, Gary, Dave, and everyone at IK Multimedia. Congrats to all those winners. And also, we're going to do a new thing called What's in the Centerpiece. This week's centerpiece is one of our new sponsors, Warm Audio. They do incredible emulations of well-known gear. They do it in a cost-affordable way. They've had an incredible hot 2 years. Dave, you're holding a piece that you like a lot. What's it called?
This is the TB12. It's the
TB's Tone Beast, right?
Yeah, Tone Beast. And man, I love this thing. I've been playing with it, and it's just got so many options you can have. You know, all the standard stuff like pads and phantom power, but this little section in the middle is just incredible. You can switch amplifiers, you can switch your transformers in and out, capacitors, different types of things. The whole point of it is to give you options while you're recording. Something that you record and then add this kind of color to afterwards is a different sound than if you record it through the color. Right, Jean-Marie?
Yeah. I was more impressed when you whipping out your beast.
One of the things about the world we live in now, Herb, is you need equipment that's going to do a lot of different things because space is limited in a lot of situations, and this is just a wonderful piece of gear.
So Warm Audio, based in Austin, Texas, really cool stuff. Yeah. Thanks to them and the rest of our partners, 1500 or Nothing, the Blackbird Academy, Avid, Westlake Pro, of course Warm Audio, and Groove 3. We've got calendar alerts. May 19th, a discussion with the brilliant and funny and hot James Fauntleroy. That's at IMSA Festa LA. It's free, 12 noon at SAE Los Angeles campus. I'll be moderating. Check imsta.org for details. You want to be there. If you can, June 30th, which is a Saturday, Summer NAMM in Nashville. Dave and I are hosting the keynote hour. We've got special guests. We're going to announce them shortly. We're going to have a special hang, and thanks to our friends at NAMM, we have a special offer for you. You can attend that day, June 30th, for free by going to this link, bit.ly/Pensado Summer. Use the code Pensado, and you're good. Free from our friends at NAMM. A couple things on the education front. Workshops continue at the hot new 1500 Sound Academy. Beat camp, songwriting, artistry, engineering, business affairs. There's a wide array of offerings. Very simple. Go to 1500sound.academy for all the details. Jean-Marie, I think can we hook you up?
Yeah,
do
man.
a workshop?
I love those brothers. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we'll do that. And also, the number 2 school in audio, the Blackbird Academy, they've got class openings for studio in July and live classes in October. For information, go to blackbirdacademy.com or email karma@theblackbirdacademy.com and speak to her directly. Incredible lessons. Their students graduate, and they are all over the world working and making money. Mr. Pensado, what is our ITL this week?
I was working on, as we do a lot these days, a song that was basically a 2-track for all the music and drums, and I'm showing you what I did with that. I think you're going to enjoy it. Hey guys, in the world of mixing, we get a lot of loops nowadays, a lot of stereo tracks, particularly from the hip-hop community, to mix. And I'm going to show you some techniques that I use on stereo tracks that are a little different than some of the other ones I've shown you in the past. As always, I think these concepts can be applied to a lot of other things, but this is one of my favorite artists I've been working with, Soraya. We've got a loop from the producer, Sean, and here's the loop that I was given. Pretty cool, right? Probably could have left it alone, but I just don't have that kind of constraint and self-control. Let me just show you. So what I did was I tried to get the main keyboard, and I've widened the main keyboard, compressed it, took some mid-range out, put an effect on it, and I put a little bit of high-end and expansion on it. Here's what I got if I take all my stuff off. Same loop. Now let's add that back in and see what we got. So now this loop is just sub, low end. Now I've recently, I think I told you guys a while back, I've recently kind of really come to like this EQ. Now this is what we're doing. Okay, so we're isolating the low end, and that's all we're doing. So let's check it out. I know what you're saying. Damn, Dave, that sounds good. It does, doesn't it? Now, this one I thought was kind of neat. I'm kind of proud of this, okay? So play along with me. You know I'm sensitive. This plugin allows you to isolate a particular frequency, and then you can sweep this frequency and do all sorts of stuff, but it's not really designed to leave that way. You're supposed to undo this once you find the frequency. Now, we started off, I'm not going to play you the song again, we started off with the loop. I had to isolate the snare, so watch this. Right? So once I get the snare isolated, now I can trigger off of it. Yeah, boy. And then let's hip it up a little bit. Now we could have put some reverb on it, but it didn't need it. So now inside the loop, without it, with it, and let's add everything. Just the stuff I'm adding. Just the loop. Come on now, that was cool, right? See you next time.
He's a Jersey boy with a French name. He's our good friend. He is the one, the only, Jean-Marie Horvat.
What's going on?
Good to see you, man. It's been a minute.
Hey, baby.
JM.
How you doing?
What's up, man?
I'm living.
How you been?
Blessed. Can't complain. If I didn't, nobody would listen.
More than blessed. You got like a big ass record right now.
I'm truly blessed. Very
Powerglide, right?
Powerglide.
Yeah.
Out of the years I've been in the industry, you know, when Teddy Riley picked me up back when, he always pushed me to think and act like a producer because he knew I was a writer. And one of my bucket lists came true. You know, you never give up, never give in, you know. Just they say right place at the right time. I think I was in the right season at the right time when I met up with Molly Mall in the summertime. We did a track together. And Claudio, remember Claudio Quina?
Sure, of course.
Claudio
Good
mentioned
friend.
mentioned, you know, because Molly Mall did not know who I am. And Dave, we always have this discussion. A lot of people don't know what I've done and what I did. And so this young brother's like, say, hey man, I didn't know you did X, Y, and Z. I said, man, dude, that's yesterday's news. They said, we have to think forward, right? And he said, do you do tracks? I said, yeah, actually I write. I haven't written. It's like, this is really special, guys, because this is the first thing I really wrote after my father passed away. So that's 8 years ago. So, you know, I had Felice at that time, and I just had to back off of it for a minute.
Sure.
So a lot of tides have changed. So this is special.
Sure,
It's
absolutely.
special. Plus, it's kind of sexy. I never in my wildest dreams.
And
never.
you also you pronounced the group's name properly. That's also amazing. Right.
Well, here's the thing. You know who my A&R person is at the house?
Who?
My 8-year-old and my 15-year-old. So be
At
16.
every person's house, their kids are the A&R department.
I remember Sway when I was picking up Gianni at a dance up in Oaks Christian. And
Thousand Oaks.
Thousand Oaks, man. They take the hike out there.
Yeah.
He got a head on him, so not like his daddy. But I got the track back because I gave it to him that afternoon, and Molly said, "Yo, this is incredible." He goes, "This you did exactly, you know, what I was hoping that you would do, you know, because we've been writing together ever since that." But he asked for something specific, and so did Sway. And I came up with something. I said, "Well, do I have to, like, you know?" It came from a 2-6 Mafia beat, you know. But I just wanted to make it more. As musicians, you want to give something back to the younger generation. You're always trying to give something back. So that's what I did. Is I made it more musical. The string lines are more dramatic. The arpeggiation was really, really sexy. And I think Sway Lee loved it, put his verse on it. I got it. I said, "Oh my God, this is amazing." So I played it for my son. He said, "Dad, that's a hit." I said, "You think so, Jazz? You know, it might be an album cut, but you never know."
Well, you took actually one of the questions I had for you kind of away, but I'm gonna repose
Bring it back. Yeah.
People have, well, first of all, finding out who people are, do what you do, that's a whole other science.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that many people, including myself, knew how musical were, that you play stuff.
That's how Teddy picked me up.
Yeah.
Because I was playing the guitar. I was doing tapping techniques, and I didn't know who the hell Teddy Riley was. I saw this young cat playing this Hammond B3, and he was just absolutely amazing.
Killing it.
Killing it. Brother was bad. And Tony Maserati, I won't do my Tony Maserati impression. He said, because you know who that is?
Please do.
Oh, bro, you know who that is? That's freaking Teddy, that's Teddy Riley. And I said, yeah, man, the brother's bad. And then I put 2 and 2 together, and then our brotherhood has been together since '91.
Guitar, what else?
Because of Teddy, I learned how to play piano. And because of Teddy, you know what? That's just bottom line. Everything I've been doing right now is Teddy Riley. Everything he showed me in the 4 years that I worked with Teddy, how to understand people, how to understand the trend of music, how to get beyond yourself, was really Teddy. How his mind is such a incredible, it's an incredible mind, man. He's a genius. He's a friggin' genius.
Does your music? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Stop doing that big breath. Untitled, you're credited with lyrics. Did you write some of the lyrics?
I did not. Molly Mall did. Molly Mall is he's an interesting cat. When I first met him, you know, when you first meet clients, you know, the bravado was there and all that. But he's actually a genuine guy. He's like me. I'm a street kid from Jersey City. You know what I'm saying? From Bayonne. You know, I grew up very differently. You know, amongst some of our peers. But I try to keep that knock, that heart, that knock that I will never forget.
I did it again. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
You're known as a mix engineer.
Yes.
And your mix sensibilities, how did they creep into your production sensibilities? So in other words, when you were producing it, did you have it mix ready, or when you were producing it, you just didn't worry about any of the mix process? In other words,
that's a great. All right. So basically, what happened was I hear things. I'm a little bit of a wackadoo. I hear things very differently. You know, I'm trying to keep my cussing to a point, so I won't cuss today. I won't cuss today. But I'm a little loopy, so I hear things differently, and I wanted to be able to just give the track away if this ever went down to a mixer or to somebody else. I didn't want anybody to know it until the last minute. So no one really knew that I did it until Molly Mall started blasting me all over the internet.
Jason mixed, he put his foot into it.
Jason's
Did you make his job easy or hard?
I don't know. I hope he's not gonna hate on me because you know I gave him enough to play around with. Okay. But I think a lot of it's also we as mixers, and you get this all the time, and I'm hoping I can tell this to people out there. Try not to separate all your stuff because for some odd reason, a kick drum sounds so much better when they have it lined up instead of like, I gave you all my kick drums. I didn't do that for Jason. I gave him like the 8 kick drums that I had on Powerglide. I've stacked them as one.
Why do you 8 kick drums?
Because I can.
That's a good point.
Because I was going for a different sound.
Okay.
There's different rumblings and there's different tonalities. Yeah. And I was trying to experiment when I was doing that because I said, what the hell, you know, I'd give it a shot. And I think the song was in B major, I believe. And I wanted to use the different tonals of the scale in the kick drum.
Okay.
So go deeper, deeper, deeper.
Gotcha.
And it came out to be this little hump to it, you know. And then the 808 as well, so.
So reverse his question, where on this particular song, did your mixing sense affect your production? When you're mixing other things, does your production chops inform your mixing?
It was my writing chops. I came in as a writer.
Okay.
I didn't think about producing until I felt the string lines especially, that I didn't disrespect, you know, DJ Paul, that I enhanced something and it made it new. And then the production value came within that. Okay, I want to try to get these different cascades. Same thing with the claps and the snares. And then the production came back to me. Maul said, are you done with this? I said, no, brother. I got some other stuff I got to put in there. So the ear candy comes in. Now the producing comes into it, and the mixing comes into play, where I would do these like slowdowns and drops and this and that, you know, to make it more colorful, to really get that, to get the landscape out. So to answer your question, yeah, I try to do it as easy as possible for the mixer, because I know how hard it is to get creative in a mixed world. You know, we spend 2 hours to 20 hours on a mix, depending on how it comes back to us. So I pray that Jason had a good time with it. You know, I haven't even talked to Jason about it. I don't think he knew I did it, so which is good.
I'll ask him.
You know, I love Jason. I think he's a special cat. You know, he's a real good guy.
What's so cool about this song is I know you pretty well. We've been friends for years, and I hear. Well, let's face it, you're crazy, and I hear that in the song. Like I hear your background, your European background. I hear. We've shared a lot of our good times and bad times. I hear a lot of your bad times in this song.
I went off on it. I'm so grimy on that.
That's a great way to write, you know? I guess that's what most writers do. I'm not a songwriter. But.
You know, I think a lot of it is my daughter, Soleil. She said, Daddy, I want to be a star. I said, star? I said, what are you talking about, you know? And she said, how do you work with big clients? So it's that fundamental of not knowing, you know what I'm saying? It's that fundamental of just going beyond stuff and thinking like a kid, you know? And also, I stopped being a musical snob. Yeah, you know, being in the business for so many years, we get to be like snobbish, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh my God, I can't believe they put this out. And it really, legitimately, my son, he said, Dad, take a listen to this. I said, man, why is this so hot? You know? Instead of like being like the guy that get off my lawn type dude, you know what I'm saying? I actually listen, and it's when we first started out in the business, the simplicity of life, you know what I'm saying? The simplicity of things. We're thinking, you know, X, Y, and Z, and they're thinking about A, B, C. Very simple.
Somebody said to me once, and I repeat it a lot, that it's easier to be complicated. It's genius to be simple.
Wow.
That's such a poignant statement, because it's amazing how that's so easy, I can do it. Well, shit, if that's so easy, excuse me.
That's fine. We knew you'd break it.
Okay. I did pretty good for 15 minutes.
You did very well.
Everybody says, oh, I can do that track. Well, then do it.
Yeah.
And
not that simple.
I humbled myself to go back to what I remembered, what made me feel right. All that production that I did was done on Machina. Everything about it was done on Machina. I went back to grassroots. And you know how much the plugins we both have.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? All the keyboard stuff that we both have. I went down to the bare bones and just thought like DJ Premier, Timbaland, those cats, to make those drums hit a certain way. But I also want to rejuvenate that drum sound because everybody sounds a certain way, so I want to make it sound different. And I think hopefully I accomplished that.
I love the fact that it's not 75 beats a minute. It's got some nice tempo, and
I think Eardrum added some stuff to it as well. So
who?
Eardrum, which is basically
Rae Sremmurd.
Yeah, Rae Sremmurd stuff. Yeah, everything about that track was a whirlwind, literally a whirlwind.
How long ago did you do it?
I still remember it was in September, and.
Someday I'll always remember.
Today in September.
Sorry. You set it up.
We can do Name That Tune too.
No, another segment.
It was actually, it was in September. It was homecoming from my son's school thing. That's how I did it. I did it that morning and I sent it that afternoon. Ma loved it. He was cranking it up because, he has like a factory over there. And he's a creative guy. Molly Mall is really, I will never forget what Molly Mall did for me this year. He's a real special cat.
Over the course of your career, I think this happens to all of us. You tell me if you agree. There are times where dealing with certain artists or certain other mixers or certain songs or certain situations where people have come to you guys or us or anybody for their expertise, where in fact you learn something from them by doing it. Like you go into a project and go, wow, I didn't know that I would learn this. Are there any lessons along the way, because you worked with such notable people, that have informed your mixing, informed how you deal with talent? It's a two-way information street, isn't it?
It is. A lot of it I learned, obviously, working with Teddy, obviously. But then you get tracks from young artists, young producers, and sometimes I'll give you one that I was working on yesterday, D-Miles. Wow. You learn something new every single day, how he makes these beautiful tracks, and they hit hard and grimy, but there's a beautiful ugliness about it that it's so musical. And then you get stuff from Mike Will or something from Terrace Martin. You always constantly learn. And you know what? It's, sometimes you emulate that when you write and produce, and it's like getting back to it. It's like everybody says, oh, it's going to take me a while to get back into writing or something like that, and really it's not. It's just a moment in time. And I just experienced the cacophony of sounds that I learned through all the years at that moment in time.
Yeah, and the reason I pose the question is I think sometimes, particularly with our younger audience, the tools that they have will sometimes give them a false sense of expertise. And if they're not learning what to do with those tools, you just have tools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That doesn't mean you're making art. It just means you're chopping away at something. And I think all the masters are constantly in learning mode, constantly in listening mode, right?
Yeah, it's like, when you're like one or two type of people when you get a piece of anything like a TV. Either you read the instructions or you start pressing shit. I'm the guy that likes to start pressing shit.
Gotcha. See what happens.
And
you're the poster child of that.
I know, right? It's like the born again idiot. You know what I'm saying?
I remember trying to figure out your de-esser chain. I couldn't even figure that out.
Dude, I don't know what the hell I did. I swear to God, I tell people I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But I think the genius of this, and if I can express something to the younger producers and audience, is that try different things. As funny as it is, my son was watching this YouTube thing about making beats, right? I said, there comes the musical snob again. I said, what the hell is he watching this for? And I went, I never knew that. I said, oh, isn't that something? I said, I did that way before that happened. I did that back in whatever. A lot of people use that brush now to do the 16s. I was doing that long before that because it was a mistake at the studio, and I was doing ghost producing remixes, and I used to do that all the time because it was fun. It's fun to just mess some people's stuff up It's really, really fun.
I got it back in the day. Herb is a big fan of parallel compression. Herb is a brilliant genius and knows everything there's no parallel compression.
I use it when I drive.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Parallel.
Oh,
yeah,
but he's the one I learned it from. Really? I was sitting at Enterprise, and he comes in and he goes, "That sounds okay, but try this." And I'm like, "Well, what's that?" It's something we do in New York. Arrogantly so, you said that. Something we do in New York.
I was so ballsy back then. And, oh my God.
And I forget what the gear was. It was a piece of analog gear back in that time, and it changed my life. I parallel everything now.
It was the snare. Snare and the kick, snare and the kick drum.
Snare and the kick.
And I don't know if people remember this from, because I did the second episode for Pensado's Place, which was it's amazing. But I'm explaining to the audience what happened. I was in Studio E and you were in Studio C. And me and Dave started to get real friendly. And he came in and he goes, "Man, how
can you define how real friendly you got?" Well, maybe not, for later.
We met in the hallway.
Okay,
cool. Dave and I just took a liking to each other. He said, "Hey, I introduced him." He goes, "Hey, didn't you do a lot of stuff for Teddy?" I said, "Yeah, actually I did." He goes, "Would you mind if I asked you a couple questions?" I said,
"Oh yeah, I was addicted to the fix."
And you talking about I was ballsy? Oh come on!
No man, that changed my life.
Well, I showed him the SPX 90 trick, and he said, "Why are you doing it that way? So like you can blend, because on the SSL you can blend the stuff too." And then I showed him the parallel compressor that I often did when I first started, because I didn't have a bunch of gear. So when we were down at Teddy just opened up the studio, so we didn't have a bunch of gear. So I thought about this one thing. It was a guy was cutting vocals, and he was sending the vocals into a bus. And then he returned it back to a compressor. And that's how they would vary the in and out to a tape. I said, well, shoot, if we can do that, I said, let's bring it that way. And it sounded dull, but then I hit the button, and all of a sudden, everything came out, and everything jumped out. I said, ooh. And then Tony Maserati comes, oh, it's parallel compression. I didn't know what the hell it was.
They called it New York compression back then.
New York, the New York spank. It's that spank that you get on the snare drum. And it was the 160 XT, which is still by far one of my favorite compressors. Only on snares, though.
That's one of the few things plugins haven't attacked yet.
I tell you, whoever comes out with a 160 XT plugin setting, they're going to do really well. Especially, the 160As are still kind of slow and soft a little bit.
What are you working on now? What's the future?
Right now, oh God, still I love mixing. That's what I love doing. And right now I'm writing with Molly Mall and his crew. Like his crew is Tune, that dude, is a young producer who's phenomenal. And then you have Scorp, and he's another producer that works with Molly Mall, and this other guy named Diego. And he has a real nice camp, so I'm like the newcomer, the newbie, the youngin', so I'm trying to work with him a little bit on that.
You're the new Julia Michaels.
Yeah. That's a good one.
You're also a gear nut, right?
I am.
And you, Oxberger and our friend Dave, what you've been raving about what?
Oh my God, that dude changed my life. All right, so.
Changed mine.
So me and Dave were talking, and I said, Dave, man, I love your speakers, man. He goes, you should come by and check them out. I said, okay. So I went in there, I said, man, these things are too big. And he goes, no, well, go next door to this other room. So I said, wow, these things are amazing. I said, man, I wish to God we can get something that will fit in my little, I wanted to try experiment something. So I built a studio, and Dave saw the studio. I didn't want it to feel like a studio. I wanted it to feel like a loft, but it has obviously treatment to the room. Dave really loved it. I love
your room.
Dave loves it. It's tight.
And shout out to Paul Foley.
Shout out to Paul Foley, the genius. We called him the Pro Tools Ninja. Now he's like the guy who builds rooms. He tightened up my room up, and it was an acoustical nightmare, but it works. I mean, the imperfections is brilliant. So Dave Malakapur goes like this, I'm gonna have something for you in about a year and a half. I said, all right, whatever, I had a bunch of people, I'm gonna leave names out of it, drop stuff off, and it just sounded booty. It just didn't sound right. And Dave knows how I monitor.
Loud as hell.
Sometimes, you know, if it's too loud, you're too old. So then, you're the one with the wall of sound. You know, Herb gave me the thing. It was just, dude, your mixes are like the wall of sound. So,
right.
But he came. You know, I went to NAMM to do something for Native Instruments. Grabbed me. He said, "Listen to this." I went, "All right, here we go."
You went in that little booth?
Yeah.
It was amazing in there.
Man, that was incredible. I said, before I said I want it, he said, "I'm gonna drop this off let you think." He's slick, man. He's slick. He drops them off. You know, if you drop it off, you know I'm gonna pick it up.
Of course.
Man, that changed my life.
Were those the solo 8s?
I think they're called solo 8s. They're like 1H woofer. I have like 18-inch subs in my little room, 18-inch subs with this thing, and everybody came running into the room. And I like saying, "Yo, what is that?" I said, "Ha." And we did this Meek Mill's mix that I did, and that was the poster child of that mix right there.
Wow. It
changed my life. You actually can mix on them. Like, you know how you have big Asperger monitors?
I do know, because I have them.
Smart ass.
And by the way, you can turn them into little near fields. I mean,
yeah, you can.
You know, like 20 feet tall.
Man, these things, by far, is genius. And, you know, I love distressors. That comes up to my distressor level. You know, the gear I need to have, those puppies are the ones I need to have.
Jean-Marie, you have sex with distressors. That's how much you love them.
I like to fondle them. Like to tweak
I don't
them.
remember anybody using them before you. Let me ask you a question before we go.
You might need to resign from your position. You now have it on record.
Me too. Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, and my sister Raphael reminded me about this question. You more than anybody I know, you're comfortable with any genre. So you'll go from rock to pop to R&B to gangster rap, to whatever. How do you change your references so quickly to do that? In other words, when I go from one genre to another, I have to drive in the car and listen to the new genre and play a lot of records before. But you do it instantly. Is there a trick to that?
It's like being a session musician. You have to adapt quickly, but you also have to be a lover of music. So I love all types of music, from hip hop to.
I do all those things, but it takes me longer than you. Is you just start? I mean.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I mean, I listen. Well, you know how I mix, Dave. I mix very oddly. I don't start with the music first. I start with the vocals first, like a remixer would do. That's how I see things. But the music will interpret how you should attack it. But here's the thing, I'm not mixing for myself. I'm mixing for the masses, and that's the most important thing, is that you try to tap into, like, even if it's a country song, I'm gonna make it grimy. I have to put my little love in there. When we were doing Reba McEntire with Justin Timberlake, and they didn't know how they're gonna take me on this, and it was probably, he goes, "I can't believe he did that." Like I did the Shine Down mix.
I love that, man.
I can't, Jean-Marie didn't do that. I mean, in the A&R person goes, "Who are you?" You know, it's like, I just think, I hear things differently, but it's just like, don't pigeonhole people. And it's like I try to tell people, just because I do a certain genre or you're a certain ethnicity, I almost use that all the time. And, if you can't tell me if you're black, you can't do rock music. Jimi Hendrix. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Seriously? These young brothers and sisters right now have a mind and they have a vision. And I think that if they allow that mind and vision to blossom, I think we might change music a little bit more, so it won't be such a cookie cutter, go down one avenue. Get, like, my biggest goal and hopefully still in my tenure is to take these young cats that I have in my studio and let them take over. Instead of having everything sound one-sided, give a brother a shot, give a sister a shot to mix something. Give opportunities to young writers like Molly Mal did for me. Like, he looked beyond the mixer. He actually heard something, he said, "Yo, this is hot." He didn't say, "Oh, Jean-Marie did that." He said, "Yo, this is hot." And Sway Lee didn't know me for Adam, so he doesn't know me, he doesn't know who I am, where I came from. He heard the essence of the music. And I think that's the most important thing. So when I do that, I try to take that approach. It's like, don't judge a book by its cover. and take the approach to say, I'm going to kill him. I'm just going to kill him. They give him something new.
We'll see you. Peace.
See ya!